There you are. You're in the back. I don't remember you. Okay, so, and let's see, 2006, I was 22, and I had just been dumped for the first time. Only it wasn't dumped, it was not taken back. So I was the one who had made the initial mistake, and then just had to like flounder in that. And the worst thing that could happen to a 22-year-old girl in Providence, Rhode Island, is to see like her ex-boyfriend's bike locked up with the current girlfriend's bike outside of all of the places that we used to go, which is just devastating. And you can just see it right up front. So it's like this talisman where it's like, well, you don't go there anymore. And there's only like 10 places to go in Providence, so I didn't go anywhere anymore. And I had been there for 6 months. I had moved there to be with a boy. I was now single, and I was completely alone. I worked a bartending job, so I started at 4 and I ended at 2 o'clock in the morning, and I came home and started this ritual where I would just watch terrible television and drink wine and eat snacks, which is pretty good. As a very happily settled down 28-year-old, it's still pretty good. And so I was home alone. And I was like this terrible punk house with like infested with mice. It was really cheap. It was like $300 a month. And generally it was great because I lived with all these dudes, and it was it felt very safe. We were in a crappy neighborhood. We were in this like terrible, terrible neighborhood. It was ridden with crime. But I had all these dudes all around me. And like I'm like independent woman part 4, like love Beyonce as a soul sister. But like when like brass tacks comes down and like there's nobody around you, you're just like, okay. How much mace would it take to take down somebody who's like 400 pounds? So I didn't have to generally deal with this because I had all these dudes that were around me. But they all went on tour right after I got dumped. So now I don't have a boyfriend. I don't have really any friends because I spent all my time with him. And the 3 dudes who live in my house with me are on tour and they're in North Carolina. So, whatever. I'm fine. So I get a bottle of Rex Goliath wine, the 40-pound rooster. Anyone familiar? It's really good. For the quality, honestly, great. As a 22-year-old, stellar. Like, you might as well just give me a $100 bottle. I wouldn't have done the difference at 22. So I'm with that, and I have, like, the Annie's cheddar bunnies, and I'm eating those. And I'm watching Mulholland Drive.
All right.
I don't like Mulholland Drive. I don't get Mulholland Drive. I'm okay with that now. But back then, it was my ex's, the guy who wouldn't take me back's favorite movie. And I was like, I am going to watch this movie, and I'm going to get this movie, and I'm going to love this movie. And somehow in absentia, like in proximity, while he's at that bar with the other girl, he's just going to be like, bing, gets it now. And then he's going to fall in love with me again. I don't know what the theory was. It was probably halfway through the Rex Goliath wine. That's probably why. So I'm watching Mulholland Drive. It's maybe 1 o'clock in the morning. I'm in my underwear. I'm covered in cheddar dust. And I have my door locked. And I hear this like, that wasn't loud enough. It's a really big bang, like bang! And I'm like, and I do that Indian thing where I think of every CSI and every social, like every like SVU I've ever seen. I'm like, I'm gonna die. This is what happens now. Now I die. Now I get raped and left in a gutter and die. There's no gutters in Providence, but I'm gonna die. And I go through the things where I'm like, I could climb out the window, but I'm in my underwear. And it doesn't occur to me to put on pants, but whatever. So I'm like, I could climb out the window, but then I'm in my underwear, and then I'm outside and I don't have my keys. Didn't occur to me to take my keys, but whatever. I'm like, but there could be a 2-person team, and now they're in here with the knife, and they're out there with the gun, and then I'm double dead. Shh. I'm double dead. So I do that thing. I was like, all right. I was like, I'll call 911. 22. So I call 911. And I get on the phone with my cell phone, and I cork the bottle of wine, just in case someone can get there. So I cork the bottle of wine, and I hold it like this way though, so like the bludgeoning end is this way, and I call 911. And I'm like, hi. And they're like, please state your emergency. And I'm like, not an emergency, per se. I think there's someone in my house. And they say, great, we'll send out an officer. I was like, ooh, because we had been busted for like a ton of punk shows at that point. Like, I don't know if you need to send somebody. And they're like, do you think somebody's in your house? I was like, yes. They said, do you think you're in immediate danger? And I was like, 80%. They're like, we're going to send a car. And I was like, can you just... And it's like, now it's like 2:30 in the morning. And then I get like, rational Lansie on. I'm like, can you just transfer me to the guy that's on call? Because you're like the grand poobah of the 911, right? Like there's a local guy. And I don't know if this is irresponsible or compassionate, but she goes, sure. So I'm like, awesome. So she connects me to like a guy, and I'm like, hello. He's like, 911, it's your emergency. I'm like, hi, I've been over that. What's your name? He's like, Officer, let's call him Ronald. Officer Ronald. And I was like, hi, my name's Lansie. I live at 32 Batty. You could look it up. We're not so good, but I'm good, and you know it. And so you've seen the house, and I think there's a guy in my house. Can you just stay on the phone with me while I open the door? And he's like, I'm gonna set a squad car. I'm like, no, we've been over that. Just stay on the phone, Ron. And he's like, again, compassionate, irresponsible, either way. He goes, sure. It's awesome. So like, underwear, bottle of wine, Captain Ron. And I go, all right, Ron, you ready? And he's like, yes, ma'am. I'm like, miss, but yes, okay, good. And I open the door, right? And I'm like, I go like, ah! And no one. And like previously, life in danger, right? Now, I like flick the light on, and I see that there's like, because we're like stupid gunner punks, we like keep all of those, like, you know when you go out to food and it's like metal on the bottom, plastic on the top? We've washed those and put them on the top of our refrigerator. And they've come crashing to a floor. And there's one that's overturned and it's moving. And I'm like, oh. I'm like, hey, Captain Ron, it's just a mouse. Bye. Click. I go, oh. And I'm really scared of mice too. But I'm like, and I look at the mouse and I'm talking to the shipping container. I go, listen, dude, we have been through a lot together in the last half an hour, haven't we? And it's like, so I like take my like old like magazine L that I stole from my dentist's office, and I like stitch it under, and I bring the mouse outside and I let him go, and I come back and I'm like, still don't feel safe. Feel safer than I was. Go back inside. Turn off Mulholland Drive. Never finished it. Feel okay about that. Turn on Mean Girls, written by Tina Fey, starring Lindsay Lohan. Finish the glass of wine and go to bed.